Faithful one, come close. Not the version of you that is worn thin by postponements and polite disappointments. Not the version that has learned to lower the volume of its own hope to survive the day. My child, I am calling the real you forward, the one I formed before the delays, before the detours, before you taught your heart to breathe shallow so it wouldn't hurt so much to expand. Come here. Stand before me as the person I intended, courageous, clear, tender, and strong. Not the image that a long season of waiting tried to shape. I see what the waiting has done to your rhythms. I have watched the late-night replaying of conversations you wish had gone differently, the way the ceiling gathers your eyes like a net at 2:17 a.m., the list of what-ifs lengthening with each slow breath. I have felt the tightness across your chest on ordinary mornings that should have been simple, the quiet comparisons that you never say out loud, those small internal verdicts when you scroll past another announcement, another door opening for someone else while your hallway stays dim. I have heard the inner negotiation that tries to keep you safe by keeping you small, the thought that whispers, if I don't expect much, I won't be disappointed. I see the way you reach for neutrality because hope feels risky. It registered. It cost you something. And now I am saying something timed. Not general encouragement for a vague someday. This is an on-time announcement. My child, your breakthrough is here, even if your room still looks the same, even if the numbers haven't moved on the page yet, even if no one has called, even if the doorbell hasn't rung, even if nothing around you is volunteering proof. Do not measure my movement by the decor of this moment. I release before you see. I move the current beneath the surface, before the water breaks in waves. I speak to dry ground before the first green shows. I am already moving, already opening, already arranging, already delivering. Hear me. I am not offering you hype, not a slogan to distract you from your ache, not a shortcut around pain, not an invitation to pretend you have not been tired. I will not pretend otherwise. I will not insult the work it has taken just to keep showing up. What I am giving you now is a summons to see with faith before sight agrees, to stand in alignment with what I have already released before the evidence joins the chorus. I am telling you that what I have set in motion is not imaginary. It is in motion. It is real. You have said in your heart, if it were really here, I would feel different. You have weighed your own body for signals, waiting for an instant lift, a rush, a sign so loud it overrides every prior disappointment. But listen to me. Hope often returns quietly at first, like air filling a room through a nearly silent vent. Peace may arrive as the absence of the familiar noise. Strength may start as the simplest ability to try again without bracing for harm. Do not despise the wholly ordinary evidence. I am working while you exhale. I am working when you go still and let your shoulders drop from your ears. I am working in that one brave text you draft and finally send. I am already here. Faithful one, I am speaking to the real you, because that is the one who can receive what is landing, not the cautious performance, not the armored posture that learned to hold everything at arm's length. The real you knows my voice. The real you remembers the first time you said yes with your whole heart. The real you still believes I am good even when the day is not. And I am saying, step forward. Let your true name answer me. I have not changed my mind about you. You asked me, why now? Because I have counted your hours, and I have chosen this moment. Not earlier to tease you, not later to discourage you. Now, the very moment you nearly decided to make peace with less, the second you wondered whether slow suffocation was just the shape of adulthood. No, come up for air, breathe me in. Revival is not a concert in a distant city. It is oxygen entering your lungs, steadiness entering your thoughts, a future re-entering the room like sunlight after days of cloud, arriving, not approaching in theory, not still being assembled, arriving with the intentionality and the unstoppable momentum of my love for you. I know you are tempted to think, if I tell myself it's here and it isn't, I won't recover. That fear is guarding you with a broken sword. I am not asking you to conjure a feeling. I am asking you to agree with my reality, to let my words set the context before your eyes finally catch up. This is how faith operates, not as denial, but as alignment with the truest truth. I am not fragile. My promise does not require your adrenaline. It requires your agreement. So begin here with me. Unclench. Let the jaw you've been holding release. Let the shoulders you've been carrying the world with lower inch by inch. Say in your heart, even now, I receive what you have released. That sentence is not make-believe. It is permission. It is you opening the door of a house that has been knocked on all day. I am patient at your threshold, but I am also insistent because I love you. I will not let you normalize starvation when my table is set. My child, hear the clarity of my voice. I am not inviting you to ignore your bills, your ache, or your history. I am inviting you to let me be the defining influence over them. I see the ledger with actual numbers in it. I have seen the calendar with days circled and crossed out. I have heard the prayer you prayed whisper quiet, so no one would shame you for asking again. Those prayers did not fail to count. I count those prayers. I honor those prayers. I receive those prayers. And I respond now with timing and tenderness. Stay with me until the end. Do not step away halfway through and let fear write the conclusion. I will show you the posture that lets what I have already released finally settle in your life. Practices you can hold in your hands, ways of standing that make room in your mind and in your home. But for this moment, let the real you come forward and hear me say, I am here and your breakthrough is here with me. Nothing out there needs to change this instant for this to be true. I am the one who speaks to seas before the wind shifts. I am the one who speaks to bones before they stand. I am the one speaking to you now, and I am not late. Come close, beloved. Place your hand over your heart and feel it answer. This is your time to receive what does not depend on spectacle. This is your time to agree with me before the room rearranges to prove it. I have you. I am with you, and we are beginning now. My child, let me step into the middle with you. The uncomfortable space where you prayed and you waited and you obeyed. And the calendar kept moving like a conveyor belt, carrying days away, while the room in front of you kept looking the same. I am not afraid of this place. I am not offended by the tired questions that live here. I am not surprised by the sigh you try to swallow, because you feel like you've already sighed too many times this year. I will not pretend otherwise. This middle has been its own kind of storm. No headlines, no dramatic lightning, just the steady drain of sameness pressing on you morning after morning. You did what you knew to do. You laid your plans before me. You kept your yes on the table. You stared down a situation that did not blink, and you told yourself, patience. And then you told yourself again when the first round of patience wore thin. Days circled and crossed out. Emails sent and resent. Calls made and not returned. Opportunities scanned and scanned again, like you might suddenly see a doorway you somehow missed. And as the scenery insisted on staying put, you began to feel like you were the only thing being spent, when nothing changes but everything costs. This is the middle that drains you. Hear me name the cost, because I will not rush past it. Confidence eroded, quietly at first, like sand loosening under your feet, then more obviously when you second-guessed even simple choices. Sleep interrupted, 2:17 a.m., turning into 3:06 a.m., the ceiling an old companion, the mind looping through numbers with actual values in them, trying to solve a future you cannot control. Joy muted, the laugh that used to rise easily, now sounding like it has a hand on its throat. Energy rationed, calculating whether you have enough for the meeting, the meal, the smile, the ride home, and knowing something will have to be postponed because you are down to fumes. Hope managed like a fragile thing, wrapped in caution, handled carefully so it doesn't crack again, tucked away on certain days because the risk of letting it out feels too high. It registered. It cost you something. I saw every withdrawal. And still, you were faithful. In the hours that looked unremarkable from the outside, you kept doing what was right. You picked up after yourself and after others. You answered messages you did not feel like answering. You told the truth when a small lie would have been easier. You chose kindness instead of cynicism, generosity instead of hoarding, prayer instead of numbness. You whispered my name into the kitchen air while waiting on water to boil. You wrote down a need and did not mock yourself for asking. Those prayers did not fail to count. I count those prayers. I honor those prayers. I receive those prayers. The holy ones you spoke out loud, the ones you mouthed silently, the ones you didn't have words for, only a long exhale and a look up. All of them gathered, none of them lost. In this middle, you have lived between extremes that both feel wrong to you. Giving up feels too final, like signing a document that erases everything you've endured to get here. Pressing forward feels too heavy, like pushing a stalled vehicle alone on a road with no shoulder. So you lived in the tension. One hand holding the railing of duty, the other hand cupping disappointment, trying not to spill. You told yourself to be grateful, and you are. But gratitude did not cancel the ache for more. You told yourself to be strong, and you are. But strength did not mean your shoulders never burned. I saw the bargain you tried to make with your own heart. If I stop expecting, I will stop hurting. My child, I understand why you tried. I will not shame you for survival strategies that kept you breathing. I am the one who kept breathing with you. I have been with you in it. I did not watch from a distance. I did not fold my arms and wait for you to impress me with your stamina. I sat with you on the edge of the bed when the room was dim and quiet except for the fan. I was in the passenger seat on that drive where you said very little and then suddenly said a lot. I stood with you at the sink when you rinsed a plate and felt tears threaten for no single reason and every reason. I walked with you down the long aisle of the grocery store when you checked prices 2 and 3 times because margin had become a memory. I was there when you stepped into the bathroom and locked the door for just a minute to let your chest soften and your jaw let go because the rest of the house needed you cheerful. I was present in every moment you thought was empty. I was there in the quiet exchanges where no one clapped and no one noticed, and still you chose what was good. I noticed. I am not a distant evaluator. I am your father and I have been near. Let me say what you have hesitated to say out loud. This waiting has hurt. Not always like a sharp pain, but often like a constant pressure, an ache in the background that makes everything else harder. The plans you have set to the side and set to the side again, the celebrations you attended with a brave face while counting the personal cost of showing up, the questions that greet you in the morning and tuck you in at night. I am not grading you for having those questions. Bring them to me. You did not fail because you felt tired. You did not disqualify yourself by having a day where numbness felt safer than belief. The middle is heavy, and you, beloved, have been brave in it. I want you to hear this with weight. Your faithfulness has not been wasted, not the consistency that no one applauded, not the integrity when it looked like cutting corners would be invisible, not the posture of honor when you were provoked. not the gentle words you chose when sarcasm sat on the tip of your tongue. I have been counting more than your prayers. I have been counting your small obediences, your hidden kindnesses, your 10-minute walks to clear your mind so you didn't say something you would regret, your notes of encouragement sent into other people's valleys while you still stood in yours. I count, I honor, I receive. I am a meticulous witness of your days. You have also paid invisible costs that even you have downplayed, like the way you started shrinking your dreams because dreaming big felt like an invitation for pain, like the way you rehearsed disappointment in advance to try to make it hurt less if it arrived, like the way you arranged your face into neutrality so no one would ask questions you weren't ready to answer. Let me lift shame off of all of that. Those were not failures, those were your best attempts at building shelter in a storm that would not hurry. And while you tried to keep your heart from breaking, I kept it beating. While you lowered the volume of hope to hear yourself think, I hummed hope under the floorboards so it would never fully leave the room. Even here, in the draining middle, something true has been growing. You don't see it the way I see it yet, but I tell you with authority, your capacity has not shrunk. It has been tested and thickened. You have learned steadiness you did not have before, compassion that makes you safer for other weary ones, wisdom that cannot be hurried into a person any other way. I am not glamorizing your pain. I am dignifying your perseverance, and I am promising you this. None of this has been for nothing. So breathe again with me, not because the scene has changed, but because I am near and because I am telling you what is real about what you have lived. Your tears have not been theatrical. Your restraint has not been forgotten. Your middle has not been invisible. I am the God who keeps company in the ordinary and writes down what others overlook. My child, let this settle. Your waiting has been witnessed and counted. Your pain is real. Your faithfulness has not been wasted. Stay close to me now and let the pressure fall off your shoulders piece by piece. I have you. I have been in it with you. And I am not finished with this story. My child, let me take you by the hand and turn you toward a truth that will steady you now. What I have for you is not hovering in theory. It is not in the idea stage. It is not waiting on your performance to come into being, arriving, not approaching in some hazy someday, arriving with precision, with intention, with the unstoppable momentum of my love. It has location, it has timing, it has your name on it in writing that does not smudge when the weather turns rough. There is a difference between release and appearance. Hear me and let it settle deep. I have released something over you that is settled in my heart, established in my intention, authorized in my kingdom. That release is present tense reality, even while the visible scene around you is in the process of catching up. Heaven settles a matter and then earth unfolds it in time, structure, and alignment. Release is the key turning in the lock. Manifestation is the door swinging open on its hinges and the room filling with light. Do not confuse a door that has just been unlocked with a door that has not been touched. I am telling you, the key has turned. Think in pictures with me, because you live in stories and scenes, and I know how to speak to your imagination. A seed in soil does decisive work when you cannot see even a green thread at the surface. Roots are claiming their territory, quietly, deeply, insistently, so that when the shoot breaks the crust of the ground, it can bear the wind and the weight. The breakthrough has begun beneath the line of your sight. Or consider dawn. The morning arrives before the sun clears the horizon. The light changes in the room by degrees long before you see the orb itself. You wake because the night has already lost, even while the sky still holds traces of blue-black. Or picture a latch on a door you have pulled on and pushed against for months. You stood there and felt nothing give, and then one day, still and ordinary to everyone else, The mechanism inside released with a small sound. You heard it. You know the next push will look like effort causing the opening, but the truth is that the opening was decided before your hand even moved. So when you say, "Nothing has changed," I answer with tenderness and authority. What you mean is, my eyes have not yet gathered the evidence. That is different. Silence is not absence. Stillness is not denial. A quiet hallway is not an empty building. The orchestra takes its breath before the first note, and that breath is part of the music. The pause between the key turning and the door swinging is not wasted time. It is the second in which alignment completes. Do not indict me for inactivity when what you are experiencing is the dignity of timing. Let me show you what already underway looks like in the ordinary places you know. You check the numbers with actual values attached to them, and they look familiar, but behind that ledger, I am shifting the flow, rerouting provision, moving a conversation into the right ears. You send the email and there is no reply in the hour you hoped, but elsewhere a person is rereading your words and rethinking a prior decision. You pray a sentence so small you almost dismiss it, and in response I breathe courage into someone who will become your unexpected helper. You wake into a morning that looks like yesterday, but the air feels different in your chest, and you cannot explain why the dread is lighter. This is not imagination. This is the horizon paling before the sun appears. I am at work while you fasten your shoes. I am setting tables you will sit at later. Arriving. Hear me name the turning clearly so you do not miss it. I am not starting your breakthrough. I am confirming it. I am naming what is already underway. I am testifying to what I have released so that you stop judging reality by the pace of proof. I am giving you a frame for the waiting moments between unlock and swing, between pale light and clear sun, between root and fruit, so that you can stand without panic and call this what it is, an arrival in process, not a promise in peril. You have wondered how to live faithfully in this kind of in-between, and part of the answer is this: let me be the one who defines here. When I say a thing is here, I am speaking from the vantage point of the one who holds time like a map, seeing both the path and the destination as close to my eyes at once. What I release moves through coordinates you cannot see, and dependencies you did not know existed. Your life is a network of relationships, rhythms, and responsibilities. I do not throw blessing at you like a random coin tossed into a crowd. I weave it in. I anchor it. I align its edges with your capacity so it will not slide off the table, so it will not crush what you love, so it will not evaporate with a change in the wind. This takes a breath. That breath is not doubt. That breath is design. Listen then to a simple sequence that will protect your heart while the evidence grows into visibility. First, separate in your mind the difference between what is settled and what is seen. Say it to me if you must. You have settled it. My eyes are still catching up. That is not self-deception. It is faith telling the truth about 2 layers of time. Second, interpret quiet as process, not punishment. When the hallway is still, imagine the keys turning in rooms you are not yet in. Third, watch for small confirms and let them count. Do not wait for the doors to leap off their hinges before you rejoice that the latch released. Fourth, resist the urge to pry. You do not need to force what I have already unlocked. When it is time to push, I will tell you, and the door will yield as if it were waiting for you, because it is. I will not let what I have released wander without purpose. I have never lost a package I addressed with covenant care. It is not delayed because it is aimless. It is moving along a path that respects your story, your growth, and the stories of those connected to you. Think of the year you thought you lost. I was building weight-bearing beams in your heart, so that what is arriving has somewhere strong to land. Think of the conversations you have had to practice. I have been giving you words so that when the moment comes, you speak with clarity and kindness that keep doors open. Think of the thresholds you have stood on feeling foolish. I have been teaching you patience so that you do not rush ahead of yourself and trip in the doorway. This is not wasted delay. This is structured arrival. I know you want me to make it obvious so you can finally rest, but I am giving you rest now before visibility as a sign that the kingdom reality is already in effect. Peace that exceeds understanding is not theatrical. It is the quiet in your bones that says, the decision has been made in my favor before the email pings. Courage that returns while the view is unchanged is not denial. It is my spirit strengthening your knees so that when the door swings, you do not stumble from surprise. Joy that bubbles up during an unremarkable errand is not random. It is the first fruit breaking the soil while the field still looks brown. You have asked whether you are late or whether you missed a narrow window that closed while you were catching your breath. No, I do not work with closing windows that punish you for being human. I work with seasons that ripen. You are not behind. You are in step with a timing that was crafted to protect you. The arrival is sequenced to meet you at the intersection of readiness and need, wisdom and opportunity, heart and house. When I say now, it is because all the locks I intend to turn have turned. All the roots I intend to grow have held. All the orange on the horizon has gathered into day. And I am saying, now, over you. So let this be the name you give this moment. Confirmed arrival, unfolding manifestation. Call the still room a room with a door that has already been unlocked. Call the quiet phone a phone that will ring because the decision has already shifted. Call the ordinary morning a morning after a decisive night. My child, agree with me here. Stand with me here. I am not asking you to pretend. I am asking you to perceive. And as you do, you will notice that your breath lengthens, your shoulders soften, your steps become unhurried. Not because nothing matters, but because everything that matters is no longer in question. Arriving at your home, arriving in your relationships, arriving in your health as stamina to do what once felt impossible, arriving in your finances as margin that leaves room for generosity and breathing, arriving in your work as favor that sticks, not a momentary glare of attention, arriving in your inner life as the noiseless confidence that I am here and I am not moving away. This is not forecast, this is announcement. I have released it, I am escorting it, I am guiding it to you. And though your eyes will have their radiant day when everything you hoped for walks through the doorway, hear me. The day of arrival began before you saw it. Take the hand I am offering, the one that steadies your heart and teaches your eyes how to wait without fear. We will stand in this confirmation together, and soon, very soon, you will watch the door swing on hinges that no longer resist, and you will recognize the sound, not a sudden miracle stealing you from reality, but my faithful movement revealing what I already settled for you. Arriving, hear it as the drumbeat beneath this moment. Arriving, not circling, not searching, not waiting on a better map. Arriving to where you actually live, to the coordinates of your days, to the rooms that have held your quiet prayers. My child, the blessing I have released knows your address. It is not a vague cloud hoping to land where it may. It is a sent thing with a sealed assignment. What I send does not get lost. It does not forget where it was assigned. It does not arrive late to my purposes. Arriving at your home. Arriving in the atmosphere of your rooms, in the way the air feels peace-heavy when you walk in from a long day, in the cadence of conversations that stop snapping and start softening, in the laughter that returns as unforced as a breeze through an open window. Arriving in the unseen habits, How the morning starts without the dread you used to brace against. How the evening settles without the arguments that once felt inevitable. How the table becomes a place of warmth rather than a bench of weary reports. In the hallway, I am hanging hope back on the hooks where frustration used to live. Arriving in your mind, thought by thought, not as a lecture, but as a gently authoritative presence that quiets spirals, where anxiety built elaborate what-ifs and worst-case sketches. I am placing simple sentences that hold, I am with you. I have settled this. You are safe in me. Ideas that eluded you are stepping forward. Creative solutions you had set aside are finding you again while you do ordinary tasks. Clarity that used to visit and flee is setting up residence. The noise lowers. The pace inside you slows to a holy tempo. It is in motion. It is real. It is not fragile. Arriving in your health journey, not always like lightning, but like strength returning in the joints that carried too much strain, like sleep coming without so many negotiations, like breath that reaches the bottom of your lungs and tells your whole body to unclench. Appointments shift from dread to information, from panic to plan. The small choices you make, water, walk, rest, release, begin to compound favor instead of frustration. The body you have felt at odds with starts to feel like a friend again. A temple that I treasure, a companion to your calling rather than a constant interruption. Arriving as stamina to do what once felt impossible, as recovery that gathers momentum, as wisdom to ask for help at the right time from the right hands. Arriving in your finances, in ways both expected and unexpected, raises earned, budgets clarified, expenses reduced not by chance but by wise timing, invoices paid that sat too long, a final notice replaced with a settled account, and also through the surprising channels, the unlooked-for refund, the client you didn't court, the project that meets a need you didn't know others had, the friend who felt nudged to share, the idea that becomes income without stealing your peace. Favor that sticks, not a flash that embarrasses you with its quick exit. Margin that creates kindness in your home because scarcity's edge is softened. Steady provision, not frantic provision. It is in motion. It is real. It is not fragile. Arriving in your relationships, in the necessary conversations that once felt impossible, apologies offered without defensiveness, forgiveness extended without keeping score, boundaries expressed without rage, honor restored where contempt tried to live. Some reconciliations will look like warm embraces that no longer flinch. Others will look like clear distance that protects the tenderness I am rebuilding in you. Both are mercy. Watch how I soften hearts you stopped pleading with in your private thoughts. Watch how I introduce you to people who can hold what you carry without demanding you be smaller. Watch how a single brave sentence you speak opens a window you thought had been painted shut. Arriving in restoration, in endings that bless, in beginnings that are not rushed. Arriving in your calling, doors that match your assignment, not every door that happens to swing. Invitations that honor the pace I have formed in you, alignment that brings you under voices that call out your best and prune your excess without wounding your identity. Work that feels like worship because it moves in the stream of what I designed you to do. Opportunities that meet you where your yes places you. Teaching, serving, building, leading, creating, with grace that covers the gaps and companions who delight to carry their part. I am not sending you into rooms where your soul must contort to belong. I am sending you into spaces where your obedience becomes a bridge others can walk across. Arriving as placement, as assignment, as a steady unfolding of impact. And understand the channels I choose because I am creative and I am kind. Yes, through conversations, the one you are scheduled to have next week that feels ordinary but will open something decisive. the brief hello that becomes a connection, the courageous check-in that becomes a healed history. Yes, through opportunities, applications you submitted that finally migrate to the right desk, a mentor who names your gift out loud, a door that quietly appears because you were faithful where you stood. Yes, through reconciliations, soft eyes where there used to be hard lines, a returning message that says, "Can we try again?" Yes, through wisdom, sudden knowing of what to do first, not everything but the next thing, strategies that feel lightweight and effective at once. Yes, through favor, your name mentioned in rooms where your feet have not yet stood, your work landing with people who needed it most. Yes, through courage, your voice steady when it used to tremble, your step forward when you used to wait for perfect conditions. Yes, through strategic timing, the no I held back shifted into a now, not to tease you, but to align everything so that what arrives remains. Hear me again. What I send does not get lost. I do not mislabel blessing. I do not require you to chase it across deserts you were never meant to cross. I send it along paths that respect your story and consider those tied to your life. It does not forget where it was assigned. It does not arrive late to my purposes. I am both sender and escort. I am both author and finisher. I am guiding it to the intersection of your readiness and your need, your wisdom and your opportunity, your heart and your house. So when the day still looks ordinary, say with me, arriving. When you feel the small lightness in your chest, say with me, arriving. When the email pings and it is not yet the one you hoped for, but your peace does not leave, say with me, arriving. When a friend reaches out unprompted and you are strengthened just enough for the next right step, say with me, arriving. Let this refrain be your agreement, your participation in what I have already set in motion. Agreement is not noise. Agreement is alignment. I know your name. I know your need. I know your address. The blessing I am sending is not wandering. It is arriving with precision and purpose, with the intentionality and unstoppable momentum of my love. And as it lands, it will not shatter you with speed or starve you with delay. It will settle like rainfall on ground that has been prepared, like a key finding its home, like dawn that does not argue with darkness. It simply arrives and the room changes. It is in motion. It is real. It is not fragile. My child, let me speak with clarity about the season that hurt you, because I will not pretend the cost was small. It cost you tears, private and public, the kind that sting your eyes and the kind that never reach your cheeks, because you swallowed them to make it through the day. It cost you energy, hours traded for problem solving that never seemed to land, mornings that started heavy, nights that ended later than wisdom wanted. It cost you trust, the quickness with which you once opened your heart, the ease with which you assumed good, the instinct to believe that things would work out without you bracing for impact. It cost you at times your ability to feel, the numbness that settled like frost on good ground, because feeling everything all at once threatened to undo you. I saw the chest tightness, the calculations at the kitchen table with numbers that had actual values and consequences, the message left unread because you could not take one more sharp edge that day. It registered. It cost you something. I do not minimize what you carried. I mark it. I count the nights you watched the ceiling and spoke to me with sentences so short they felt like failure. I count those prayers. I honor those prayers. I receive those prayers. I will not skip past the difficulty as if it were incidental background to a brighter scene. The place you are walking out of is real. The cost of it has been real. And still, I tell you what is truer than the pain. The season that hurt you built the capacity that will hold you. While comfort can make you smile, only pressure can make you strong in certain ways. Comfort can decorate a house. Hardship lays the weight-bearing beams. Comfort can reinforce preferences. Hardship clarifies convictions. There are structures inside you now, character that resists flattery and panic, discernment that smells counterfeit before it bites you, humility that refuses to outsource dependence to your own talent, endurance that knows how to walk through a longer hallway without quitting, compassion that refuses to reduce people to their worst day because you remember yours, boundaries that protect the sacred without turning love into stone, wisdom that chooses the next right thing instead of everything at once. These are not abstract virtues, they are infrastructure. They are the hidden framework upon which joy can hang its lights without the whole house sagging. You have wondered whether the delay was punishment. If you were kept outside because you failed some test you didn't know you were taking. No. Hear me with the steadiness of a father who does not play games with his children. The delay was not punishment. It was preparation. It was alignment. It was protection from what would have broken you too early. If I had allowed an earlier yes, the weight attached to it would have crushed tenderness I was still healing in you. If the spotlight had found you sooner, it would have drawn voices you weren't yet ready to ignore. If the resources had flooded in before your values had roots, generosity would have turned to guilt or pride instead of worship. If the reconciliation had happened before real boundaries formed, the familiar patterns would have rewired themselves and pretended to be peace. I closed some doors not to starve you, but to keep you from walking into a room with a collapsing floor. In the hidden parts, while you worried you were late, I was at work making you spacious. The passage was enlarging. You can hold more now. You can receive without losing yourself. You can steward what is coming. Listen to me. Name the change so you can recognize it. You used to answer immediately to silence your own anxiety. Now you pause, you breathe. You ask for light, and you answer with kindness and clarity. You used to overcommit because saying yes made you feel valuable. Now you set a limit and discover that your value did not flinch. You used to chase affirmation because the echo inside felt too loud. Now you carry a settled center that does not panic when praise fades. You used to spend from fear and then repent. Now you budget with wisdom and give with joy. And money has begun to move like a servant instead of a master. You used to pray for escape. Now you pray for strength and strategy and find both waiting at your table in the morning. This is capacity. Identity must be spoken over you again so it drapes correctly on your shoulders. You are not behind. You are not disqualified. You are not the sum of what you endured. Who you are is not determined by the size of your scars. It is determined by the hands that held you while those scars formed. My child, I chose you specifically. Adoption in my family is irrevocable. The losses you carried are not a label. They are a language you and I now share, and they are a key to rooms where others are waiting to be told that they too can survive and recover. Your worth has not diminished under pressure. It has concentrated. Let me be as concrete as I can, because I do not want this to remain at the level of beautiful abstraction. What I built in you will hold what is arriving in at least these ways. First, character. You learn to tell the truth to yourself and to me, even when the truth was that you were tired. That truth-telling makes you safe to bless, because the person who refuses to lie to themselves will not lie to others about what they can and cannot carry. Second, discernment. You learn to recognize the difference between an open door and a trap with hinges. That discernment will keep you from calling everything favor and will incline you to ask me which opportunities have your name on them. Third, humility. You learn to ask for help without calling it defeat. That humility will draw the right people around you and make you resistant to the flattery that tries to hire your soul. Fourth, endurance. You learn to keep going without demanding to feel like it first. That endurance will steady you when early excitement subsides and obedience is measured in quiet, faithful steps. Fifth, compassion. Your own ache has softened your gaze. You will not use people to prop up your progress. You will protect the tender. You will listen longer. You will understand quicker. Sixth, boundaries. You became willing to disappoint the pressure rather than betray your peace. That boundary will keep your relationships healthy as blessing expands. Seventh, wisdom. You learned to number your days, to allocate time and energy on purpose rather than letting urgency consume you. That wisdom will convert breakthrough into legacy. Pain has a cruel story it tells about itself, that it is the main plot, that everything good will be a footnote to what hurt you. I am cutting that story short. The long season of difficulty was not the story. It was the infrastructure of the story. It laid trenches where water can run. It compacted the soil so foundations could be poured. It measured the distances between pillars so the roof of joy would not collapse under weather. When comfort returns, and it will not erase what pain built. It will rest on it. There are things you can notice now, little confirmations that the inner architecture is in place. The apology that used to taste like ash now comes out of your mouth with dignity. The request for counsel you used to avoid now feels like wisdom wearing your voice. The gentle no you give yourself at midnight, putting the phone down, closing the laptop, choosing sleep, is not a retreat. It is strategy. The yes you give to a small, consistent practice, stretching, scripture-inspired reflection, a daily walk, a weekly call with someone safe, is more potent than the big, occasionally heroic burst you used to prefer. You are building with brick and mortar now, not cardboard and tape. So when I say that what I have released is arriving, know that it is coming into a life that can hold it. Not perfectly. I am not asking for perfection. I am asking for posture, the posture you learned in sorrow, open hands that do not clutch, a heart that stays teachable, a spirit that refuses both cynicism and naivety. That posture is the very posture that keeps blessing from slipping through your fingers. You will not need to grip as hard because you are rooted deeper. You will not need to rush because you can recognize timing. You will not need to apologize for joy because you understand how pain prepared you to celebrate without guilt. Release the accusation you have leveled against yourself, that you should have been faster, stronger, less affected. That is not wisdom, that is a whip. I am not asking you to forget what hurt. I am asking you to anoint it with meaning. Bless the scar that tells the truth and no longer bleeds. Honor the lessons it forced you to learn, not because pain is good, but because I am good in the middle of it and I refuse to waste it. Let the past season stand as a monument, not a prison. Here is where I learned to breathe under pressure. Here is where I learned to love without disappearing. Here is where I met my father in the middle of the night and found out he does not leave. And now, because the inner room is strengthened, because the beams are in place, because the root system has spread in secret, what I am sending can settle without breaking you, can stretch you without snapping you, can lift you without emptying you. You can hold more now. You can receive without losing yourself. You can steward what is coming. Arriving will not be a storm that rips shingles from your house. It will be rain that fills your cisterns and seeps into the ground, nourishing what we planted together. The season that hurt you did not win the definition of your life. It built the capacity that will hold you while you live it. My child, because you are no longer the fragile version of yourself that pain once tried to convince you that you were, I want you standing the right way when it lands. I want your hands open, not clenched. I want your heart guarded with wisdom, not sealed by fear. I want your mind tuned to truth. not to the rehearsals of worst-case endings that used to feel inevitable. Breakthrough is not something you chase. It is something you receive. But receiving is not passive. Receiving is agreeing. Receiving is alignment. Receiving is an open posture practiced daily until the room of your life feels ready, able, and at peace with what I am sending. Hear me. Active receiving is your participation with what I have already released, not frantic activity, not desperate bargaining, not earning. Earning has no place here. This is trust expressed in motion. This is faith choosing to align with my word when your senses are still catching up. When your eyes say nothing is different, your mouth will answer, it is in motion. When your feelings say this is too small to matter, your spirit will answer, this is God's fingerprint, and I will not ignore it. When fear says, guard everything and let nothing in, wisdom will answer, guard the precious but make room for good. That fear is a lie. I am teaching you to receive. Let me give you a simple, repeatable practice. 4 steps, worn smoothly by daily use until they feel like the rhythm of your breathing. First, notice. Second, receive without minimizing. Third, give freely. Fourth, stay close. Do this in your ordinary mornings and your unremarkable evenings. Do it when you are hopeful and when you are tired. Do it as an act of love toward me and as an act of kindness toward yourself. First, notice. Practice noticing the small shifts, the subtle openings, the fresh strength that seems to meet you in places it did not before, the unusual peace that sits down beside you during a conversation that used to tie your stomach in knots. Call them what they are, my fingerprints. Track them, write them if that helps you see. One line in a notebook, a quiet line in your phone, a whispered sentence while you rinse the dishes. Today, the dread was lighter. Today, the email carried favor. Today, I said no without guilt and yes without fear. Today, the numbers added up and my chest did not race. Today, I woke before the alarm and felt steadier than I expected. Noticing is not naive. Noticing is stewardship of attention. It is training your eyes to recognize land on the horizon while you are still at sea. It tells your inner world, God is here, the story is moving. It converts random into recognized. It turns coincidence into communion. Second, receive without minimizing. When good finds you, do not call it just luck. Do not shrink from it as if joy is improper in your mouth. Do not apologize for it because others are still waiting. Your compassion does not require your starvation. Receive it. Say, thank you, Father. Let gratitude expand the room. Let yourself feel the relief without scolding your own heart. If the improvement is small, honor it anyway. If the provision is partial, bless it as seed. If the conversation softened but did not solve everything, bless the softness, and I will inhabit it. Minimizing is a defense against disappointment, but it also shuts the door on comfort. Let me in. Allow the gift to be exactly what it is without suspicion. Gratitude makes room. It stretches your capacity to hold. It teaches your nervous system that goodness is not a trap, but a place where you can rest. It anchors the memory so that, on harder days, you have evidence you can handle with your hands. We have seen you move this way. Receiving without minimizing is how you honor the sender as much as the gift. Third, give freely. I want you to interrupt scarcity's monologue with generosity, not reckless, not performative. Real generosity that matches your grace and your season. Time, attention, encouragement, skill, resources, forgiveness, a listening ear, a warm meal, a truthful compliment, a small financial gift set aside on purpose, a note that costs you 5 minutes and gives someone else a week of courage. Give as a declaration, I am not owned by fear, I trust the giver. Generosity trains your hands to stay open so that What flows in can also flow through without you needing to white-knuckle either your gifts or your identity. It breaks the illusion that blessing is a pie with too few slices. It creates channels in your life where provision and peace can travel in both directions. As you give, you align yourself with my nature, and alignment opens doors that force cannot. You will find that your own needs are often met in the very places you sowed. A kindness returned as strength on the exact day you were thin. A favor echoing back when you could least arrange it yourself. Give freely, and you will discover abundance is not a theory. It is a learned way of being with me. Fourth, stay close. Do not complicate this. Nearness keeps everything else true. Speak to me daily in simple, honest sentences. 3 is enough when your day is crowded. Father, I open my hands. I agree with what you are doing. Show me the next right step. Let those sentences be real, not repeated out of fear that the spell will break if you miss a day. I do not deal in spells. I dwell in relationship. Keep one line of my truth in front of you. Copy it where your eyes go often. Let it ride with you in the car. Let it sit with you at the table. Let it whisper back to you when the old narratives rehearse themselves. Meditate until it feels like a hand on your shoulder. Then obey the next right step. Not every step, not the 10th step, the next one. Make the call. Rest when rest is the instruction. Complete the application. Schedule the appointment. Cancel the commitment that keeps stealing your peace. Apologize without delay. Prepare a room. Start the file. Clean the counter. Take the walk. Read the chapter. Share the story I nudge you to share. Obedience at the scale of a single step is how you walk into rooms you once only prayed for. As you practice these 4, keep your posture, hands open, heart open, mind alert. Guarded with wisdom means you steward your yes and your no. It does not mean you bolt the door on joy. Wisdom says, I can receive and still set boundaries. Wisdom says, I am allowed to slow the pace without missing my promise. Fear seals, wisdom selects. Fear hoards, wisdom holds and releases in rhythm. Fear isolates, wisdom gathers the right companions. Keep checking your hands. Are they clenched around old pain, around guilt, around the need to control? Unclench. Name what you're afraid to lose and give it to me again. I am not asking you to be careless. I am asking you to be courageous in trust. Think like the farmer who senses harvest in the air, not approaching as a rumor but arriving as the stalks lean heavy with grain. The farmer does not keep plowing out of habit. The farmer gathers tools, sharpens edges, calls helpers, clears space in the storehouse, wakes a little earlier not from panic but from purpose. In the same way, align your habits to receiving. Put your calendar where your priorities can breathe. Set aside margin so blessing is not forced to pay rent in your exhaustion. Prepare the conversation you know you will need to have when the door opens. Organize the small corner of your world that will make saying yes lighter, your resume updated, your portfolio ready, your pantry in order so evenings can be peace and not scramble. Prepare humble tools. Readiness is reverence. And when your senses argue, let your agreement lead. Agreement is not denial, it is direction. Speak what I have said over what you have yet to see. You are not pretending, you are participating. Whisper, arriving, when you feel the nudge to despair. Whisper, thank you, when you are tempted to wait for something bigger before you bless what is here. Whisper, lead me, when options multiply and fatigue asks you to choose the fastest exit. I will answer. I am already answering. I am not asking you to perform to be worthy of what I give. I am forming you to be ready to hold what I give without injury. Posture, not perfection. Rhythm, not rush. Nearness, not noise. Do these 4 again and again, and watch how peace settles heavier, how clarity visits longer, how courage stands up inside you when you need it. Watch how what I send finds room, how it remains, how it multiplies without compromising who you are becoming. My child, stand this way with me now. Hands open, heart wise, eyes soft to notice, mouth quick to give thanks, palms generous, steps small and obedient, spirit near enough to hear me whisper. This is how you meet breakthrough when it walks through your actual door. This is how what I release settles into your mind, your home, your future. And as you practice, you will find that receiving becomes less of an event and more of a way of living life with me, arriving and arriving, until you can no longer remember what it felt like to brace against every blessing as if it might break you. It will not. I am here, and I am teaching you how to hold what is already moving toward you. My child, as you stand in this posture with me, the voices that used to run the room will try to come back and narrate your delay as defeat. I will not let them speak unchallenged. I am going to name the fears one by one, and I am going to call them what they are. Listen to me. Let my words rewire what pain has been rehearsing. First, the quiet suspicion. Maybe it's not for me. Maybe other people qualify and I am the exception to the promise. That fear is a lie. I chose you specifically. I formed you with intention before any of these hard chapters arrived. I did not invite you to my table to watch others eat. Adoption in my family is irrevocable. You are my child. My commitment is not seasonal. I do not revoke belonging when you are tired. What I have released is not generic. It bears your name, your address, your assignment. My love is not a raffle. It is a covenant. Then the clock fear. Maybe I missed my window. Maybe the right time came and went while I was dealing with survival. That fear is a lie. I am not ruled by alarms and expiring opportunities. I am the one who sets times and seasons and holds them in my hands. Paraphrase. I bend time to serve purpose. I recover what seemed wasted and bring fruit from ground you thought was ruined. I order the steps of the ones who walk with me. Paraphrase. If I needed you there then, you would have been there then. If I have you here now, it is because here and now are the coordinates of wisdom. Then the guilt-heavy whisper, maybe I ruined it. Maybe my mistakes, my detours, my fear-driven choices canceled what could have been. That fear is a lie. Your failures are not greater than my mercy. Your missteps are not stronger than my ability to redeem. I work all things, failures and successes, detours and delays, together for good for those who love me and are called by my purpose. Paraphrase. Where you sowed in tears, I will teach you to reap in joy. Paraphrase. I do not discard what is marred. I remake it. I do not shame what is broken. I restore it. Then the scarcity voice. Maybe it will be taken away. Maybe if I get it, I will lose it. Maybe blessing is a brief visit and then emptiness. That fear is a lie. I do not give with strings meant to choke you. What I give with intention to remain and to mature. I do not attach torment to my gifts. Paraphrase. I teach stewardship, not suspicion. Stability is part of the blessing. The peace I give does not hinge on circumstances. It rests deeper than your understanding can map. Paraphrase. I stabilize you so that what comes can stay without shaking you apart. Then the identity wound. Maybe I am too damaged. Maybe what happened to me or what I did to survive has stained me beyond usefulness. That fear is a lie. I do not pass by the bruised. I bind up and strengthen. Paraphrase. I make all things new, including the parts of you that were used against you. Paraphrase. The shame that tries to tell you your capacity is over is speaking without knowledge of my hands. I am your shepherd. I lead you beside stillness. I restore your soul. I guide you along right paths for the sake of my name. Paraphrase. Restoration is not a theory for me. It is my daily work with those I love. Then the cynic born from a long night. Maybe hope itself is dangerous. Maybe if I let my heart lift, disappointment will be worse. That fear is a lie. Hope with me is not permission for cruelty. It is partnership with truth. I pour my love into your heart by my spirit so that hope is not empty and does not end in humiliation. Paraphrase. I am not setting you up. I am setting you steady. I am giving you a spine for joy. What once spiked and crashed will become a steady flame. Less spectacle, more hearth. Warmth you can live by. Then the religious anxiety. Maybe I am not spiritual enough. Maybe I cannot hear you like others do. Maybe I will miss your cues. That fear is a lie. My sheep hear my voice. They know my tone, and I know them. Paraphrase. I am not playing hide and seek with your future. I guide you with counsel. My presence will instruct you in the way you should go. Paraphrase. I anchor guidance in peace that rises above the noise and guards your heart and mind. Paraphrase. When you move off center, I nudge. When you freeze, I draw near. When you ask, I answer in ways you can actually live. Then the misinterpretation of timing. Maybe delay means no. Maybe the silence is rejection in disguise. That fear is a lie. Delay has been preparation and protection, and I have said this to you because I want it to settle like concrete. My timing is mercy in motion, not indifference dressed in patience. I am not slow in the way you count slowness. I am purposeful in the way I build foundations. Paraphrase. Arriving does not always thunder at first. It often steps quietly so you can catch your breath while it takes its place. Then the safety concern. Maybe people will ruin this. Maybe jealousy will snake in. Maybe the past patterns will repeat and sabotage what is good. That fear is a lie. I am your shield. I surround you with favor like a protective atmosphere. Paraphrase. I prepare a table for you, even in the presence of those who do not wish you well. I anoint your head, and your cup overflows past what hostility can contain. Paraphrase. I teach you boundaries that keep you safe, without shutting you off from love. I will draw right companions near and give you wise eyes for impostors. You do not have to build walls so high that you lose the view. Then the provision panic. Maybe the money will not be enough. Maybe the rug will be pulled in the last hour. Maybe abundance is always for someone else. That fear is a lie. I am your provider. I give daily bread and also prepare seasons when cups run over. Paraphrase. I multiply seed sown and make grace abound so you have sufficiency for what I ask and generosity for what I place in your hands. Paraphrase. I will teach you rhythms that outlast volatility. You are not at the mercy of markets. You are in the care of your Father. I want you to feel the pattern. Fear tries to interpret your life through the lens of lack, of lateness, of loss. Covenant interprets your life through the lens of belonging, purpose, and my presence. You are my child. Say that with me even now. I am your child. My commitment to you is not seasonal. It does not spike when you are impressive and dip when you are exhausted. I do not revoke belonging when you are tired. I do not renegotiate love when you need help. I do not abandon the work of my hands midway. I complete what I begin. Paraphrase. When anxiety rises in your body, when your chest tightens and the old script starts to scroll with its familiar conclusions, pause. Put a hand on your heart and let my words be the stronger script. That fear is a lie. I am chosen. I am kept. I am guided. I am provided for. I am not disqualified. Let my peace visit you with authority, the peace described by my servant as surpassing what the mind can explain. Paraphrase. It will guard you like a watchman, a shield, a steadying hand on your shoulder. Then take the next step, just the next one, inside that peace. And if disappointment tries to pull a chair close and remind you of a night when it seemed like hope betrayed you, remember this: I do not waste pain, and I do not repeat pain to prove a point. I am not fragile with my gifts. I do not withdraw them to punish you for enjoying them. I instruct you to steward, to rest, to share, to listen. I anchor what I send. I heal what was triggered. I stabilize what finally arrives so that joy is not a spark, but a steady light. My child, hear my final assurance in this moment. You are not waiting alone. You are not fighting alone. You are not being tested to be abandoned. I am with you in the room you are in, and in the rooms you are walking toward. I am before you, behind you, and beside you. The fears that narrate from the edges are losing volume under the weight of covenant truth. Let them fade. Let my voice set the story. And as you agree, as you breathe, as you take your steps, you will find what I promised, doing exactly what I said it would do, arriving with precision and remaining with peace. My child, now that fear has been named and set outside the door, I want to tune your eyes and your ears to how I move in the ordinary. I often change the roots before I change the branches. I often heal the inner atmosphere before I rearrange the outer room. If you only watch for thunder, you will miss my whisper. If you wait for fireworks, you will overlook the soft switch of a light coming on inside your chest. So let me show you what change looks like before it looks big. It looks like an ordinary evening without dread. The same couch, the same kitchen table, the same list of tasks waiting for tomorrow. But the air inside you is different, less tight, less braced. You notice that dinner did not taste like cardboard worry. You laugh at something small and it does not feel forced. You rinse the dishes and there is no loop in your head predicting disaster. It looks like a morning when you wake and do not have to fight gravity to sit up, because heaviness is not settling on you like a lead blanket. Nothing dramatic in the room, but something holy in your breath. That is me. That is my peace arriving, not approaching, but arriving, taking its seat, setting its weight, proving that the storm is not the only weather. It looks like clarity beginning to replace confusion. Not all the answers at once, but a next right step that stands up taller than the noise around it. You find yourself able to say, not that, not now, this first. You open a calendar and it does not accuse you. It cooperates. You reply to the email you have postponed, and the words come without the old tremor. You close the 10 tabs and keep only 2. You put the pen back in the drawer because the plan you were about to draft from panic suddenly feels unnecessary. I am simplifying. I am not leaving you with less. I am giving you less to carry. It looks like new restraint where old triggers used to own you. The text comes in that would have pulled you into a spiral and you feel the old pull. But this time you breathe, count to 5, and set the phone down. The memory walks in uninvited, and instead of letting it talk until it takes the room, you let it pass like a car on the road, and you keep your eyes forward. You choose silence once instead of defending your worth in a battle that never had a referee. That restraint, that refusal to enroll in chaos, is not numbness. It is healed strength. It is self-control as a fruit of being with me. Not a performance to impress me. Paraphrase. This is what change looks like from the inside out. It looks like a renewed desire to pray, not long speeches, not fancy words, a simple turning of your heart toward me in the middle of an ordinary task, washing hands, tying shoes, sitting in traffic, and a sentence that rises unforced. Be near. Thank you. Lead me. It feels like you want to tell me small things again because you trust I am in the small, not just in the emergencies. That hunger to speak with me is evidence of health returning. Desire is a sign of life. Appetite is a sign of healing. It looks like courage measured as one call, one text, one application, One conversation you used to avoid that now feels possible. Not a grand leap, but a real step. The bridge of your yes does not appear all at once. It extends as you place your foot on it. I meet you there. You feel the boards hold. You realize that panic lied about the gap. One step becomes two, two become three. That is holy momentum. Hear me say that phrase to your spirit. Holy momentum, not frantic energy, not adrenaline disguised as faith. Holy momentum is the quiet compounding of small alignments. One conversation that reopens a closed hallway in your mind, and suddenly ideas have somewhere to walk. One idea that seems too simple until it generates a phone call, which leads to a coffee, which ends with a door opening you didn't even know was there. One closed door that felt like a setback, but saved you from a room that would have drained you dry. One open door that surprises you because you did not campaign for it. It found you while you were faithful in the ordinary. This is not coincidence. This is coordination. I am weaving your steps with precision, and the pattern starts in places you might not think to honor. So take a gentle inventory with me. Where are you noticing less striving and more guidance? Where are you finding yourself choosing what brings peace instead of what proves a point? Where is your appetite for life returning? Music you stopped playing now in the room again. A walk you take because you want to feel the air. A recipe you try because flavor belongs in your life. A book you pick up because curiosity woke up from its nap. Where did you say no without guilt and yes without fear? Where did you feel the edge of panic and watch it melt under a sentence of truth you spoke out loud? These are not small. These are the early leaves that point to deep water at the root. Look at your home with new eyes. The hallway does not feel like a tunnel anymore. It feels like a path. The numbers on the paper are still numbers, but they have margin, and that margin lets your lungs expand. The child you love laughs, and you notice you are actually present for it, not stolen away in a storm of what if. The friend texts, and your shoulders do not rise. Your body starts to trust that it can live in peace without scanning for the next emergency. If you are walking through singleness, you notice that alone does not mean lonely in this hour. Contentment has taken a chair at your table. If your family has been strained, an apology appears where it never has, or you find a new patience that does not feel like swallowing hot coals. Atmosphere is shifting. I am in the atmosphere work. Do not despise the quiet way it begins. I am a God of wonders, and I am also a God of roots. I set deep the things I want to last. I do not rush a foundation. I let peace cure like concrete so that when weight comes, it holds. I let identity settle until it is not up for sale in your next conversation. That is why you might not be seeing fireworks while I am installing wiring in the walls of your heart. Trust me, the lights will come on and they will stay on. Here is how you steward what you are noticing. Bless it. Say, "This is you." Write one line so you can read it back to yourself when the day is louder. Agree with me in the moment you notice. Whisper arriving not as a wish, but as a recognition. Keep your pace. Do not rush to build a broadcast. Build a life. You do not have to announce every green shoot to prove something is growing. Water it with attention. Protect it with boundaries. Let it become strong enough to carry the fruit without tearing the branch. I am not teasing you with hints. I am training your senses to be exercised, to discern good, to choose paths that keep the peace you have received. Paraphrase. And when something closes unexpectedly, do not immediately translate it as loss. Ask me, is this a saving? Many of your rescues did not look like rescues when they happened. And when something opens without strain, resist the impulse to sabotage it with suspicion. Ask me, is this the door? If it is, I will give peace that stands guard at the threshold. If it is not, I will give a check in your spirit gentle enough to guide and strong enough to stop you. Either way, I am leading you in a way you can live. Right now, breathe and look around your actual life. Today, where did you feel even a small lift? Where did something align without the wrestle you expected? Where did you choose quiet instead of chaos and find that quiet did not punish you, it protected you? Tell me, even in a whisper, I see you here and here and here. This is how you learn the texture of my movement. This is how you stay in step with holy momentum, small sign by small sign, piece by piece, clarity by clarity, restraint by restraint, desire by desire, courage by courage, until what looked like small becomes steady and what felt like a hint becomes a home for my promise. My child, now that your senses are tuned and your heart is noticing my fingerprints in the ordinary, I am asking for something simple and strong, not 1,000 steps, not a perfect plan, one yes. Your yes is the bridge. The boards lay themselves down beneath your feet as you step. Your breakthrough meets you where your yes places you. Not the version of you that performs, the real you, the one I formed before the storm, saying a clear, surrendered, practical yes. Listen to me. I have already been whispering, in the quiet when you were doing dishes, in the car when the light turned green and you did not move because you were thinking, in the pause before sleep when a sentence rose and you pushed it down because it felt too simple to be holy. Go back and pick it up. That nudge is your next step. I am not loading you with complexity. I am inviting you into alignment. Alignment is not punishment. Alignment is protection. Alignment places you where what I have released can find you without obstruction. You do not need to feel ready to be obedient. You need to be willing. Readiness is often a feeling born from safety. Willingness is a choice born from trust. I will supply strength for what I command. I will meet you in motion. I work in you to shape both the desire and the ability to do what pleases me, paraphrase. If you wait to feel powerful before you obey, you will sit in a room I never asked you to decorate. If you choose willingness, even with knees that shake, I will turn willingness into momentum and momentum into flow. So let me be specific. For some of you, the yes is forgiveness. Release the debt you have been itemizing in secret, not because what happened did not matter, but because carrying it is costing you the future I am handing you. Write the name. Say out loud, I release. For another, the yes is an apology you owe. Call, text, walk across the room. I was wrong. That is not humiliation. That is healing, choosing to move through you. For another, it is to apply, to fill out what you have postponed because fear told you it was safer not to be told no. Send it. Let me decide doors. Your job is the yes. For some, the yes is to start. Open the file. Begin the thing you have outlined 10 times but never breathed on. Start with an hour this week. For others, the yes is to rest. Real rest. Close the laptop at the time we agreed. Turn off the glow that steals your sleep. Lie down without rehearsing tomorrow's battles. Rest is obedience. It is not laziness. It is how you hold what I am sending without shaking apart. For some, the yes is a boundary. Say no to what has claimed your peace but never paid rent. End the negotiation with manipulation. Block the number that keeps reopening the wound. Choose quiet over crisis. This is not cruelty, this is stewardship. For another, the yes is to return to prayer, not as a performance, but as a conversation. Set a sacred 10 minutes with me and defend it like your life depends on it, because your life opens inside it. For others, the yes is to seek wise counsel. Make the appointment. Ask the question. You have carried this alone long enough. Let wisdom share the weight. For some, the yes is to stop negotiating with fear. You know the offer fear keeps sliding across the table. Scale down your hope and I will leave you alone. Do not sign it. Fear cannot be appeased. It can only be dethroned. Tear up the terms. Speak the sentence we have practiced, that fear is a lie. Then take the step fear hates. Do not complicate what I am making plain. The next obedience is not about proving your worth to me. It is about positioning your life under the flow that has already begun. Think of it like standing in the path of rain with your hands open, instead of under the awning with your arms crossed, explaining why rain cannot be for you. I am sending, I am saturating. Obedience is how you stand in the open. I know the resistance that rises, but what if I get it wrong? What if I move and it is not you? Hear me. Willing hearts do not easily miss me. I am a better shepherd than you are a wanderer. I guide with staff and with goodness. I can redirect a moving step faster than I can convince a frozen fear. Trust me to lead you even as you learn. I am not grading you on precision. I am growing you in responsiveness. If you step and it wobbles, I steady you. If you step and it is off, I reroute you without shaming you. If you step and it is right, you will feel the peace set like a stone under your foot. Let us make this immediate, before this day ends. Choose one yes you can do, not think about, do. Schedule it, send it, begin it, close it, throw it away, pick it up, write it down where your eyes can see it and your body can follow it. And say with me as you act, arriving, not approaching, arriving. You are not forcing a future, you are cooperating with a blessing that has your address on it. I will give you a simple structure to help you. First, ask, what have you already told me? My whisper has been faithful. Second, clarify. Write one sentence that names the obedience. Make it doable and clear. Third, consecrate. Say, I do this with you, not for you, because partnership is the point. Fourth, act within 24 hours. Action breaks the agreement with hesitation. Fifth, stay close to me. After you step, pause to feel the peace and to receive your next small instruction. This is how bridges extend, board by board, across waters that used to frighten you. Do not worry about applause or visible results in the first hour. Seeds do not sprout while you stare. Plant, water, and let me do the growing. Some obediences will feel like pruning, cutting back what looks alive to make space for more life. Some will feel like sowing, putting something of value in a ground you cannot fully see. Some will feel like stepping into a stream and discovering it carries you farther than your effort could. In all of them, I am present, I am pleased, and I am pouring strength into your muscles as you move. Hear my promise and let it settle. I will supply strength for what I command. I will meet you in motion. I will not send you where I refuse to go. When you say yes, you do not walk alone. You walk escorted by my presence, provision, and peace. Doors will open that would not move for your anxiety, but slide at the touch of your obedience. Conversations will soften. Solutions will appear that logic could not assemble. The room may look the same at first, but the flow will change, and you will know it by the ease of grace at your back. My child, give me your yes, not because I am withholding until you perform, but because I have released and I want you standing where it lands. Your yes is the bridge. Step onto it now. I am here, I am steady, I am ready to walk it with you until the other side is not a rumor, but a room you inhabit with joy. My child, your yes is in motion and holy momentum is gathering, but there will be moments when your eyes try to argue with what your spirit knows. In those moments, your words matter. Your mouth will choose a partner, fear or faith, panic or promise, old scripts or covenant truth. I want your mouth to agree with me. Agreement is not pretending. Agreement is alignment. Agreement strengthens your capacity to receive what I have already released. So come close and let your own ears hear your voice in step with mine. Speak with me now. Say it out loud, even softly, even trembling. Let your breath slow as you speak. Let your chest loosen. Let agreement take the chair that anxiety used to occupy. Repeat after me. God is near to me now. I am led, not lost. I am not forgotten. Provision is arriving for me. Peace is guarding me. Wisdom is guiding me. I agree with God. Again, slower this time, letting each sentence settle like a stone in the river. God is near to me now. I am led, not lost. I am not forgotten. Provision is arriving for me. Peace is guarding me. Wisdom is guiding me. I agree with God. Feel what happens when truth is not only believed, but spoken. Your body hears it. Your mind hears it. The atmosphere hears it. Now we will practice even if faith, the kind that does not wait for perfect conditions to speak perfect trust. Say with me, even if the room looks unchanged today, God is working. Even if I feel tired, God is strengthening me. Even if answers delay, God is faithful. Even if I do not understand the route, I am being guided step by step. Even if emotions rise and fall, peace is deeper than the wave. Even if I face resistance, favor surrounds me. This is not performance. This is posture. You are not convincing me to move. You are consenting to be moved. Your declarations are how you keep your soul in the lane where what I have sent can land without obstruction. When you feel the old script try to take over, when your jaw tightens and your thoughts start lining up like soldiers ready to fight an invisible war, pause. Place a hand on your heart and let my words be the stronger script. Say, not the worn-down version, the real me is rising. I am chosen, I am kept, I am guided, I am provided for, I am not disqualified. I agree with God. Now be specific with what you are receiving. Name the areas that matter to you and let agreement visit them one by one. Speak with me. Arriving at my home, peace, order, laughter. Arriving in my work, clarity, favor, solution. Arriving in my relationships, kindness, boundaries, reconciliation. Arriving in my body, strength, healing, rest. Arriving in my finances, wisdom, margin, provision. Arriving in my mind, soundness, creativity, endurance. I agree with God. Hear me coach you gently. When your eyes disagree, bring 3 tools: breath, blessing, and boundary. First, breathe. Slow down what fear speeds up. Second, bless. Speak my truth into what you see. God is near. I am led. Provision is arriving. Third, set a boundary. Refuse to lend your mouth to the narrative of doom. I will not rehearse loss. I will not narrate defeat. I agree with God. Do this in the morning before the day has a chance to tell you who you are. Do this at midday when noise is loud. Do this at night so you do not hand your sleep to worry. Let us declare again, this time like anchors dropped into the water of your day. I am seated in peace. I am held in love. I am instructed in the way I should go. I am steady under pressure. I am efficient in obedience and patient in outcomes. I am walking with God, and God is walking with me. My steps are ordered. My heart is guarded. My hands are open. My mind is clear. My future is not fragile. I agree with God. When your history tries to testify against your hope, answer it with covenant language. Say, my Father does not revoke belonging. What He gives, He means to remain. He completes what He begins. He restores what is marred. He leads me beside stillness and brings me through valleys into open places. I refuse the lie of lateness. I refuse the lie of lack. I refuse the lie of loss as destiny. I agree with God. Now fold your even if faith into your present tense life. Whisper it into chores, commutes, and pauses. Even if I cannot see the whole, I can take the next step. Even if doors take time, I will not force them. I will be found faithful. Even if a no appears, it can be a saving. I will trust the reroute. Even if I am tempted to spiral, I will choose a sentence of truth and stay still. I agree with God. Let me give you a simple rhythm to memorize. Morning, God is near. I am led. I am not forgotten. Midday, provision is arriving. Wisdom is guiding me. Peace is guarding me. Night, I release the day. I receive rest. I trust your timing. These are not magic formulas. They are alignment phrases. They make room. They keep your inner room in order so that joy can find a chair and stay. Again, feel the certainty rise. Not loud, not frantic, but calm and deep like a river that knows its path. Say with me, I will not chase panic. I will practice trust. I will watch for small signs and honor them. I will answer fear with truth. I will let peace be the loudest voice in my body. I will keep my yes in motion. I agree with God. My child, your eyes do not get the final say. Vision comes from me, and I am teaching you to see by speaking. Agreement is your alignment. Alignment is your readiness. Readiness is how you receive what is already arriving. So even now, as you stand where you are, speak one more time and let it seal this moment. God is near to me now. I am led, not lost. I am not forgotten. Provision is arriving for me. Peace is guarding me. Wisdom is guiding me. I will not chase panic. I will practice trust. I agree with God, and as you agree, you will feel it. The ease of grace at your back, the flow shifting in the room that still looks the same, the blessing doing exactly what I said it would do, arriving with precision and remaining with peace. Father, I come to you now on behalf of your beloved one, and I ask for nearness felt, not just believed. Holy Spirit, fill this room, this car, this corner of the world where they are listening. Let your presence rest like a warm blanket over tired shoulders. Let your peace come like a deep breath that the body finally trusts. We bless the space around them to become an altar of quiet, a sanctuary of calm. We say here and now, let what you have released arrive with precision and remain with peace. Set your nearness like weight upon the atmosphere. Let the noise lower and the heart lift. Let the whisper of your love become the loudest thing in this moment. God, I ask for healing and restoration to flow like a steady river. For anxiety that has revved the engine of the mind at all hours, let stillness settle it. For sleep that has been thin and easily broken, give deep, untroubled rest tonight. Rest that restores memory, mood, and hope. For grief that sits quietly in the ribs and visits without warning, apply your gentle balm. Honor the tears and turn them into clean water that carries away bitterness. For disappointment and discouragement that have layered over months and years, peel them back without violence. Reveal the tender places and mend them with your careful hands. For physical stress in the body, tight jaw, aching back, clenched stomach, pressure in the chest, I bless those places now to release. Breathe, beloved Holy Spirit. Regulate what has been dysregulated, calm what has been braced for too long. Trade panic for peace, exhaustion for restoration, restlessness for holy ease. We pray protection now, Father. Set a guard at the doors of their mind and the thresholds of their home. I ask you to dismantle every scheme of sabotage, internal and external, that would try to fray what you are knitting. End the cycles that return them to old rooms of chaos. Break agreements with heaviness that tells them this is as good as it gets. Push back spiritual fog and confusion. Replace it with clarity that stands taller than noise. Close counterfeit doors, no matter how shiny they look. Dim their allure so they are not mistaken for answers. For every real door you are opening, mark it with peace that stands at the threshold like a faithful sentinel. Impart discernment, subtle, confident, lived-in discernment, to recognize the check that means wait and the green light that means go. Protect their calendar from theft. Protect their emotional energy from needless drains. Protect their conversations from manipulation. Protect the little sprouts of joy. Surround their home with quiet strength. Saturate each room with a sense of safety that no storm can raid. Father, I ask for activation, gentle, strong, immediate. Bring back to mind the whisper you already gave them. Show them the one obedient step that belongs to today. Let willingness rise, even where readiness feels thin. Grant courage measured in simple actions, a call made, an application sent, a boundary set, a conversation begun, a rest honored, a project started, a release spoken. Put holy momentum in their bones, the kind that does not perform for applause but continues, because peace is pulling and grace is pushing. Open their hands, soften their heart, renew their hope to a living hope. Steady their faith so it becomes posture, not occasional feeling. Let obedience feel like standing in the open where rain is already falling, not like proving worth in a drought. Give them the strength to take a step within 24 hours, and the humility to pause with you after they do. Now, Lord, I ask for confirmation in the days ahead. Let the signs be ordinary and undeniable. Let there be a morning without dread, a task completed without the old tremor, a laughter that is unforced, a decision that brings relief, a night's sleep that holds. Let messages arrive at right moments. Let closed paths be recognized as saving, not failure. Let open paths be met with gratitude rather than suspicion. Train their senses to bless your fingerprints. I see you here and here and here. Keep them from minimizing what is sacred just because it is small. Let them keep one line each day, one sentence of recognition, so that they can read your faithfulness back to their own soul. Seal in their spirit the refrain of arrival. Arriving, not approaching, arriving, so that their inner room stays ready and warm. I bless their mind now. Soundness, creativity, focus, gentle self-talk, and the quiet authority to interrupt spirals with truth. I bless their body, strength returning, breath deepening, appetite for life revived, rest that builds, energy that steadies. I bless their home, order without harshness, playfulness without chaos, boundaries that protect peace, laughter that returns and stays. I bless their relationships, honesty matched with kindness, reconciliation where you will it, closure where it is time, courage to love well without losing self. I bless their work, clarity in priorities, solutions that appear on time, favor that fits like a tailored garment, provision with margin. I bless their future, not fragile, not thin ice, but a firmly planted path with steps ordered and goodness woven ahead. Father, anchor them in covenant belonging. Let it be louder than history, stronger than lies, and nearer than fear. We renounce the lie of lateness, the lie of lack, the lie of loss as destiny. We receive your verdict, chosen, kept, guided, provided for. Keep their yes in motion and guard them from haste that outruns wisdom or hesitation that partners with doubt. Let peace govern, wisdom instruct, and love energize every decision. Now let your release settle. Settle into the mind like a key that turns and opens windows for fresh air. Settle into the home like light that lingers until evening is warm. Settle into the future like a map that does not change every mile. Settle into habits, calendars, budgets, bedrooms, conversations, commutes. Let what you poured out find chairs in every room and sit down to stay. And if the room still looks the same for a moment, let the ease of grace at their back prove that the flow has shifted and the blessing is indeed doing what you promised, arriving with precision and remaining with peace. I pray all of this in the name of Jesus, trusting your kindness, your wisdom, and your timing. Amen. Beloved, if peace met you here, if something in this prayer felt like an answer finding its address, share this with someone who is waiting so they do not wait alone. And if you want more moments like this, steady words to keep you company while you walk this out, subscribe and turn on notifications so you do not miss what's next. Let's keep your heart in posture, your yes in motion, and your eyes trained to recognize